This video is all about 3D shapes, volume, surface area, and lateral area. We've already worked with these 3D figures, and now we're going to see some new formulas for them. So first, let's begin by defining volume, surface area, and lateral area. Volume is a term we should be familiar with already. The volume of a figure is how much space filling the figure. So if I were to try to fill either this prism or this cylinder with water, how much water can I fit in there? So how much does it take to fill the figure? When we talk about surface area, it's exactly what the name describes. It's the area of all surfaces. In other words, how much wrapping paper would I need to completely cover this box or this cylinder? And then lateral area is just a part of the surface area. Lateral area is the area between the bases. So let's take a look at that. When we're talking about lateral area, imagine that I've taken these two 3D shapes and I've unfolded them. So I pop the top of this box up, I pop the bottom of the box down, and then I'm left with 4 rectangles around the lateral surface. Same thing happens with this cylinder. I pop the top of the can up, I pop the bottom of the can down, and what I'm left with is basically the label of the can. This middle region here, this is the lateral area. Same thing here. This is the lateral area. Of course, this is a base, this is a base. Same thing here. So the surface area is going to include all of these surfaces, whereas the lateral area just includes what's between the bases. We're going to take a look at the formulas for volume, surface area, and lateral area for cylinders and any type of prism. And these are your formulas. We're going to label some different parts here. So the lateral area formula, P times H. This P is the perimeter of the base. Sometimes that perimeter, if it's circular, is called the circumference. And the H just represents that perpendicular height. That's a term we've worked with before. So the perimeter of the base times the height, perimeter of the base, well, that's going to be the length of all of these sides added up. When I unfold that, this is the length of all of the sides of the base, and this is the height. And doesn't that make sense that we're finding the lateral area, we're doing base times height. It's just the base ends up being the perimeter of whatever the shape may be. Over here, if I were to wrap this around, this is technically the circumference of the base just unraveled, and this is the height. So this unraveled becomes this region down here. That's where the formula comes from. And then for our surface area formula, whatever you end up with for your lateral area, take that value and add 2 times the base area. So a capitalized B represents the area of the base. And there are different formulas for that. Sometimes you'll just be given the area. Sometimes you have to use for a circle pi r squared. Sometimes if it's a rectangle, if it's a square, you know formulas for that, side squared or base times height. And then you see that same B comes up again for the volume, the area of the base multiplied by that perpendicular height. So let's take a look at a couple examples. First example is going to be with a right square prism. It's given to you that this is a right square prism. And we're given lengths x, y, and zy. So xy is 3 and zy is 7. Let's label our figure. If this is a right square prism, it means that the base is a square. And if one side is 3, then all sides are 3. Let's begin with the lateral area. We know that the lateral area is the perimeter of the base times the height. Well, the perimeter of the base is just 3 times 4, or 12. That's our P. The height is whatever the perpendicular distance between the bases is. In this case, that's 7. That's our height. So all we're going to do is 12 times 7 to get 84 for our lateral surface. Because this is area, this is 84 inches squared. For the surface area, remember, we're going to take that value, the lateral area value, and we are going to add it to 2 times the area of the base. So let's figure out what the area of the base is. Well, this is a square with sides that are 3. So area equals side squared, or 3 squared, and that's 9. So the base area is 9. So I know that this formula is lateral area plus 2 times the base area. Lateral area I found was 84, plus 2 times the base area. Well, the base area was 9. So we end up with 102 for our surface area. And again, that surface area, that's inches squared for our units. And then finally, the volume. Volume equals the base area times the height. Well, we just found the base area was 9, and the height is 7. We're just multiplying those two values together, and we end up with a volume of 63. Now, volume is going to be inches cubed because we end up multiplying 3 different dimensions together. Alright, so that's a prism. Now let's take a look at an example with cylinders. This is a right cylinder, meaning the centers are directly over top of one another. The parts that are given, PQ, or the radius of the base, is 4, and QR, or the height, or the altitude, is 9. So lateral area, again, we know lateral area equals the perimeter of the base times the height. Well, in this case, the perimeter of the base is actually circumference. Circumference equals pi d. If the radius is 4, the diameter is 8, so the circumference of the base is 8 pi, and we can leave that exact. It's easier to work with. So perimeter of the base is 8 pi. The height is 9. So the lateral area, when I multiply these two together, is 72 pi. And again, this is area, so this is meters squared. Surface area is just that lateral area we just found plus 2 times the area of the base. So we know the lateral area is 72 pi, plus the area of the base we have to calculate. Well, the base is a circle. An area of a circle is pi times r squared. The radius is 4. 4 squared is 16. That means that this is 16 pi, so the base area is 16 pi. And we need 2 of them. So this base area, this ends up being 32 pi. When we add these together, we get 104 pi surface area is meters squared. And then finally, the volume, just the area of the base times the height. Area of a base we just found was 16 pi. times the height, which is 9 that was given to us. This is 144 pi for the volume. And remember, volume is in cubic units, so this is meters cubed. And that's volume, surface area, and lateral area.